Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, Earthlings. So I see that Harry and Meghan have sat up on a stage and had the absolute gall to talk about online safety for children. I'm not interested in what she was wearing before anybody asks. If she wants to go up on stage in front of the world dressed in a toilet roll, that's up to her. That's not really interesting. The staging of the whole thing was, I found, very bizarre. It looked very Hollywood. White couches, matching toilet roll outfit, matching flowers. Harry like a very disturbed little boy, rubbing his leg furiously, virtually unable to speak publicly when he's a member of the British royal family and has never had any problem giving speeches before. But now, with her sitting there like Norma Desmond, ready for her close-up, having the absolute unmitigated gall to talk about safety of mental health online and likening it to car crashes and seatbelts. I don't really understand that analogy. Now, this video may have some triggering things in it for some of you. This video for me is largely about Yankee Wally, my friend Yankee Wally, who was all but broken by henchmen connected to Meghan and Harry, namely Christopher Boozy, who created not one but two vicious reports doxing Yankee Wally and having a go at her. For those of you who don't know who Yankee Wally was or is, she is a person, a real person. She lives in Wales alone with her cats and a hedgehog. She's 68 years old. She's one of the most fabulous people I've ever met in my life. And I first discovered her because she had a YouTube channel where she dared to question things that Markle was saying and doing. She dared. She never swore. She never threatened. She never hurt anybody. She was just a lady in Wales with her cats talking about the British royal family. And Wally has the same birthday as Our Late Majesty, so that was a big connection for Wally. And what I'm going to do in this video, it's actually only 19 seconds long, and I wouldn't normally do this, but Wally was bullied firstly off what was then known as Twitter. She is back on Twitter now, but she's been bullied into silence on the internet generally by henchmen like Christopher Boozy, who, by the way, featured in Meghan and Harry's Netflix docu-series, of which they had full editorial control. They chose to have that man on their series. They gave him a dedicated segment where he just lied through his teeth. He's the one who created the report. He's connected with another online troll called Sarah Data, who targets people. These are all connected to Meghan Markle, who sits on that stage and has the gall to tell everybody about online safety for kids. Wow. And Wally had a YouTube channel, which the Sugars mass reported and had taken down. She came back about 4 or 5 times, and each time they bullied her off the internet. And the last time was this summer, just past. Now, I was in touch with Wally a lot. She goes into her shell and I haven't heard from her in months. And I wouldn't normally do this because I see it as an invasion of privacy, but I think it's really important people understand. And so I'd like to play you just a segment, a tiny fragment of how Wally felt about the treatment she received from Christopher Boozy and the online sugars and henchmen. Right, this is just a fragment. Now, for those of you that love Wally like me, this was months ago. Wally is fine. She's just wants to be off the internet for a bit. I haven't spoken to her in months, but it is not abnormal after one of these attacks for her to just take a breath and sit back. Okay, so when you hear this, bear in mind, this is not her today. This was her in the immediate aftermath of her most recent channel being taken down. And also, before I play it, for people on X, watch the comment space. Bring forth, sugars, your disgusting threats, such as wanting to put a bullet in my skull and my husband's skull. My husband, who's dealing with stage 3 cancer. Yeah, full of kindfulness and mindfulness and compassionateness, says the lady in the toilet roll on the stage with a visibly damaged mental husband rubbing his leg. And then I shall go on to tell you about the threatening phone call that Dolphin Safari received in the middle of the night last night. Again, don't worry about me, don't worry about Graham, and actually I'd go as far as to say don't worry about Wally. She is tough. She is tough, okay? So anybody out there, I don't want you to think, you know, Wally's on the verge. This, what you're about to hear, was in the immediate aftermath this summer when the bully sugars like Boozy and Sarah Data and the other trolls who love and support Meghan, so they say, although I deeply suspect they're being paid or they're mass bots.
I was so happy, and I showed in my videos I was happy. Now I'm not happy anymore. I can't keep putting on this false fake that I'm happy when I feel as though I've been so targeted. And
Listen to that, Meghan. Listen to that, Meghan supporters. So when I lured you out to show your hand and what you are, and the death threats to me and Graham the other day, which will remain pinned on my X account. Yes, they will remain pinned. Much as you'd like to pretend you never said that, or you pretend, oh, we were just joking, or you like to pretend it was a ploy to get yourselves arrested in order to get me and Trevor arrested. Oh yeah, Trevor Coult. Now, he's a tough guy, but boy, he's taken some trolling from Meghan fans. So Meghan sits on a stage in a toilet roll and tells everybody she gives a crap about anybody's mental health on the internet when her followers are capable of that, and she will not renounce those followers. That's sickening. And I'd like to add that if it wasn't for people like you guys who question the motives and the actions of Meghan Markle and what's going on, the world would be a much, much darker place. I think the only thing that Meghan and I probably agree about is that, yes, there should be some legislation and control globally to stop people using bots and paid troll farms to either push a relatively harmless narrative or, on the other extreme, an extremely dangerous narrative, as we are seeing with the conflict in the Middle East. This is a spectrum. I don't believe that bots or troll farms should be allowed to sway public influence and opinion during any democratic election. So I am in agreement with Markle about that. I think where Meghan and I conflict and do not agree is what she would like is control, so everybody worship her and do as they're told. I would like a form of control to keep everybody on the internet safe. The telephone call last night, which actually the lovely Kaiser, who mans the phones 24 hours a day, but people don't normally ring for a dolphin trip in the middle of the night. They certainly normally don't use a kidnapper-style robot synthesizer to talk. Phoned the lovely Kaiser up, and I'll try and do my best robot kidnapper impersonation of what she received at home in the middle of the night. Tell Fiona Hesketh to stop making videos about Meghan Markle. This is YouTube. She will lose her channel. I hope I got that right, Kaiser, because that's kind of how it was relayed to me. Yeah, of course it was YouTube, because YouTube has no connection to the Dolphin Safari. Neither does my YouTube channel. Oh my God, the sugars are not only stupid, but unfortunately, they're clearly very dangerous for the mental health of a lot of people. I hope they flood this with their vile, disgusting comments for all the world to see. As I've said before, please feel free to share the shit out of this. Get the word out there. And if anyone out there has time, because there's actually a lot going on with my family in the background this coming week, which I can't tell you about because of sugars, but I will tell you after like the next week. But in the meantime, I don't have the time. If anybody feels the need to email a copy of this video to the charity, whoever the hell they are, who allowed her to sit on a stage yesterday and trot out that shit about how she cares about people's mental health online, when she dares to associate herself with someone like Christopher Boozy, please feel free to email it to them. Email it to the Invictus, email it to any charity, email it to Kensington Palace, because I genuinely don't have time this week. I hope that this video hasn't upset too many people. Please rest assured, Wally is a tough lady. That was in the aftermath. I wouldn't normally share anything private from WhatsApps, but I have listened to those messages over and over, and I have sat in floods of tears and just thought, if only the world knew what Markle and her sugars are truly capable of, I dare say she'd never be given a microphone again. Thank you very much for listening.